Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Thursday, November 10th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be going over a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for today. It is a 4-game main slate overall, so maybe one that you want to play just a little bit lighter today overall, and then going over to my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today's slate overall. But without further ado, we'll get started with the recap of yesterday's picks. At the point guard position on DraftKings, we had Darius Garland, $6,900, looking for 35 points out. Unfortunately, only got to 16.5 yesterday. He was a miss. 1 for 9 shooting from the field. Just a very, very down day for him. Unfortunately, he had a bunch of assists, but not much else in terms of points, rebounds, steals, blocks. Just a very unfortunate day for him overall. You'll have that every once in a while, but very rarely. And then at shooting guard, we had Grayson Allen at $4,600, looking for 23 points out. Obviously, the Bucks were without Giannis. They were without Drew Holiday, a couple other guys as well. Grayson Allen was looking pretty good. Ended up with 32.25 points, so he was a really good hit yesterday. Then at small forward, Damon Lee is that cheap paydown option at $3,200. We were looking for 16 points out. Unfortunately, only got to 4.5, so he's a mess. Only played 16 minutes and 1 for 5 shooting from the field. Was kind of expecting him to play a little bit closer to 20 to 22 minutes and get, about that 18 points we were looking for out of him. Unfortunately, that ended up being Landry Shamet who got that role yesterday, so just kind of unfortunate there overall. Then at power forward, went with Bobby Portis. He was $6,800, so we were looking for 34 out of him. He got to 28.75. He's a miss. 4 for 12 shooting from the field. Only played 34 minutes, even though this game went into like double overtime, which was a little bit weird there. And when I did do the updated core, I was just assuming that Brook Lopez was not going to play because Giannis wasn't playing, Drew Holiday wasn't playing. Typically, in that case, the Bucks will not play a guy like Brook Lopez, but unfortunately, he ended up playing and he had a really good game overall. Then last but not least, at center, we had Miles Turner at $5,700, looking for 29 points out. He got to 40.25, so he was a really good hit yesterday. So it was a pretty overall hit or miss day on the DraftKings side. If you got a hold of some other decent values like a Cameron Payne, even Jay Ivey that we had in the court early on in the day, Kevin Durant, people like that, you still had a chance of cashing. It was just a little bit more difficult overall. And then on the FanDuel side, we had Cameron Payne at $4,600, looking for 23 points out. He got to 45.2, so he was a hit yesterday. We had Grayson Allen once again as well, $4,200, looking for 21 points out, got to 30.6, so he was a hit as well. Then at small forward, we had Zach LaVine, $7,000, looking for 35 points out, he got to 38.8, so he was a hit as well. And then we got down to Bobby Portis at power forward, $5,900. We're looking for about 29 fantasy points out. Got to 27.8, so he's a little bit shy of that, but I did give him a push yesterday since it was pretty close to what we were looking for. And then last but not least at center, we had Sengun once again. He is $6,500, looking for 33 fantasy points out. Got to 37.1, so he was a hit as well. So pretty solid day on the FanDuel side. Unfortunately, DraftKings was a little bit tougher. But if you had some other decent plays on FanDuel, you had a very good chance of cashing yesterday. And me, myself, personally, I believe the main line I ran out there was about 352 points overall. Had some Kevin Durant in there as well as these 5 guys and a couple other good plays as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries and play for tonight's slate. So once again, it's a pretty basic 4-game slate overall. We're starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time. The last game is at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So it's all pretty condensed together. So hopefully we know a lot of the news prior to lock. So we're going to start off with the Dallas Mavericks, who are without Christian Wood once again. Davis Bertans listed as doubtful, but it sounds like he's going to be out either way. And then for the Washington Wizards, they're without Bradley Beal and DeLon Wright once again. Taj Gibson listed as questionable, but not really too big a factor in the rotation either way, though. So going to see who steps up for this Wizards team overall. Maybe it's Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis. Maybe it's one of these other guys taking that extra step with no Bradley Beal tonight. Then we move over to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are just without James Harden once again, so no real changes there. They did get Joel Embiid back the last time out. Then for the Atlanta Hawks, Bogdan Bogdanovic is out once again. Trae Young did miss 2 games ago. It's a back-to-back, so just keep that in mind. We'll see if anything changes with his status during the day. Obviously, if he gets ruled out, DeJounte Murray is going to look really good overall. Then we move over to the Charlotte Hornets, who are without LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, and Cody Martin once again, so no real changes there. For the Miami Heat, they're without Victor Oladipo and Omar Yurtseven. Tyler Herro is listed as questionable to play. He's dealing with a little bit of an ankle sprain. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. He did miss the previous game out. And then we have Caleb Martin dealing with a little bit of quad injury, which ironically his twin brother Cody is missing because of the same type of injury. Obviously, Cody's injury has been a little bit worse since he's been out for quite some time. Caleb Martin did play big minutes last time out. We'll see if he plays once again tonight or not. And then we have Udonis Haslem listed as a game time decision, but really not in the rotation either way since he is essentially retired and a coach, but he still is eligible to play from time to time if need be. Then we move down to the Portland Trailblazers, who were without Gary Payton II and Olivier Sarr. And then we go into the guys that missed yesterday with Jeremy Grant, Keon Johnson, and Joseph Nurkic. Just keep an eye out on them. We'll see if anything changes throughout the day. If it does, there could be some value opening up overall. Then we move over to the New Orleans Pelicans, who were without Kira Lewis, EJ Liddell, and Garrett Temple. Larry Nance is questionable once again with his knee injury, but he did end up missing last night. Willie Herman-Gomez played that backup center run, which was only about 12 minutes last night overall, though. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries for today's slate. Obviously, there's a couple that we're going to keep an eye out on, see if anything changes with Trae Young throughout the day. And then, obviously, Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, the Portland Trailblazers situation, as well as Larry Nance for tonight overall. But if there's any changes throughout the day, I'll leave them down in the comments as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Monte Morris. He is $5,400. You're looking for 27 points out. He's averaging about 23 so far on the season. No Bradley Beal tonight. Should be a couple more assist opportunities for him overall. And with that being said, I currently am projected for about 26 points tonight. Obviously, that's a little bit less than we like, but in terms of the point guards tonight, they're pretty fairly priced or slightly overpriced for their median projections. So Monte Morris is going to be one of the cheaper kind of mid-range options to look at tonight. Then shooting guard, we have his teammate in Will Barton, $4,100. Should get some extra minutes once again with no Bradley Beal tonight. They're going to need somebody to score the ball on this Wizards team, whether it's him, Kyle Kuzma, or Kristaps Porzingis. I do like him quite a bit tonight. We're obviously looking for about 20 points, averaging 18 on the season. Currently, I'm projected for about 21, 22 tonight. And with that being said, there's not like a ton of value on tonight's slate. So guys like Will Barton, they're going to look a little bit better unless we get some injury news that opens up value elsewhere. Then at small forward, we have Tobias Harris. He's $7,100. Had some pretty good games since James Harden's missed the last couple times. And we're looking for 35, 36 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 35 tonight. Could have some upside for more if he's shooting the ball well once again. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Maxi Kleber at $3,400. Probably one of the better value plays so far on the day. You're looking for about 17 points out of him at $3,400, averaging 14 so far on the season. Should get some extra run with Christian Wood missing tonight. And they might use him as a small ball 5, especially against Kristaps Porzingis as the game moves along. Likely to close in this game if he plays big minutes. If he shoots the ball well, gets a couple of blocks, could definitely pay off at this price tag. Currently, I'm projected for about 19, 20 points tonight, but definitely has some upside for more as well. And then last but not least, at that center position, we're going with Bam Adebayo, $7,900. Looking for 39, 40 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 40 tonight. He's averaging 36 on the season. Kind of been a little bit up and down year so far for Bam Adebayo, but going against the Charlotte Hornets should be a pretty favorable matchup. Going against guys like Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards should be guys that he should have an advantage over most of tonight's game. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $22,100 remaining. Just over $7,300 per player. So if you want to pay up for someone, definitely have the flexibility to do it tonight. Obviously, Luka's kind of in that tier of his own in terms of paying up before the ceiling and the price tag overall. But if you want to go down a little bit more, you can get down to some other players, whether it's a Joel Embiid, somebody else like that. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's definitely fine on tonight's slate as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Tyrese Maxey, $7,800. Looking for about 39 fantasy points out. He's averaging 35 so far on the season. Obviously, there's no James Harden. He gets more usage. He's more involved in the offense overall. Currently, I'm projected for 38 fantasy points tonight. Definitely has some upside for more as we've seen in the past. So it could be a pretty good play tonight, especially if this game gets moving and kind of back and forth overall. Then we move down to shooting guard with Kelly Oubre. He's $5,700. We're looking for 28, 29 points on him. And he's averaging 28 so far in the season. Not the greatest matchup in the world against the Miami Heat, but still have him projected for 29 points tonight. He has that GPP upside. If he's shooting the ball well, if he gets a couple steals, definitely a guy that could pay off on the FanDuel side. A little bit down as of late, but we'll see if that bounces back today overall. Then small forward, we're going Kyle Kuzma. He's got quite the price difference between DraftKings and FanDuel. $6,500 on DraftKings. Looking for 32, 33 points out. He's averaging 30 so far on the season. Obviously, there's no Bradley Beal tonight, so he should have to take a step up in terms of scoring once again. If he's scoring the ball, if he's rebounding the ball well, he's going to be a guy that looks pretty good overall. Have him currently projected for about 33 fantasy points tonight. Could have some upside for more, although we haven't seen it as recently as of late. Then we move down to power forward with Maxi Kleber. Once again, he's $3,700, so $200 over the minimum price tag. We're looking for about 18 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging just over 14 so far on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 19, 20 points tonight. Could be one of the better value plays overall, at least early on today's slate. And then last but not least, at the center position, we're going with Jonas Valanciunas, $6,700. Looking for 33, 34 points out of him. He's averaging 32 so far on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 35 tonight. If Larry Nance doesn't end up playing, he's going to look a lot better. If he does end up playing, then it's probably going to switch over to like a Bam Adebayo or Joel Embiid for tonight's slate overall. But definitely could have some upside, as we've seen in the past, if he gets the minutes to do so. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players, you'll have $29,600 remaining. So $7,400 per player. Definitely a lot of different ways that you could approach this slate. Maybe a little bit more balanced build on the FanDuel side, but have to get a little bit creative, especially on these 4-game slates where there's not a lot of value starting off today. We'll see if that changes throughout the day. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, November 10th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Please also note whether those questions are for DraftKings or FanDuel so I can best help you. And then also be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's somebody else you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. And then as always, I'll be listing the injury updates throughout the day. I know I missed a couple of them and the starting lineups last night, but I'll try to be more on top of that tonight overall. It should be a pretty solid night for NBA DFS. Might mix in a little bit with the live stream for the Thursday night football game, single game showdown slate, but if you guys are tuning into that, I'll see if I can mention some of the basketball stuff as well during that stream. And then if there's any updates to the core throughout the day, I'll try to update that about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock or as that news becomes available. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, it's NBA DFS and NFL DFS. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I do daily NBA DFS Core Pick videos just like this, Monday through Friday. And then I do the weekly NFL DFS Core Pick video that comes out on Friday, as well as the live streams for the Monday night and Thursday night single game showdown slates, primarily focused on DraftKings, but I know there are some people that tune in that play strictly on FanDuel, so I tried to mention that too if I'm able to do so. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.